Today we're taking a look at our Nikon F to Nikon Z tilt rocker tilt shift adapter. This is a lens adapter that allows you to adapt a Nikon F DSLR or SLR lens to your Nikon Z mirrorless camera, but this adapter has built-in tilt shift technology. So that means not only can you adapt a Nikon F lens to your Z camera, you can also have built-in tilt and shift functionality. Now, the reason we're able to adapt Nikon F lenses to mirrorless cameras like the Nikon Z is because of focal flange distance. These lenses were designed for a lot of space to go between where the lens mounted and where the sensor or film plane went. And because mirrorless cameras have a much shorter focal flange distance, to mount the lens properly so it focuses to infinity, we need extra space. And that's where we can put one of our lens adapters. In this case, our tilt rocker tilt shift adapter. So not only are we adapting it, we're also giving the lens tilt shift functionality. Here's how to mount the lens on the adapter. You're just going to line up the mounting dots, slide the lens into the adapter, and then rotate it to lock it into place. Then if you need to remove the lens, just find this little silver tab, press it towards the adapter, and then you can rotate the lens to remove it. Now we're going to mount the lens and adapter onto the camera. We're just going to line up the red mounting dot on the adapter with the white mounting dot on this Nikon Z6. Press it in just like a Nikon Z lens and rotate it to lock it into place. There we go. Now we've got this vintage Nikon 50mm pancake lens adapted to our modern Nikon Z mirrorless camera. And if we leave the adapter in this standard setting, it'll work exactly like a standard manual lens. You will have to focus the lens manually. You'll have to pick the apertures manually. And we also have a little blue ring built into the adapter. This is an aperture control ring. And if you rotate this blue ring, you get seamless aperture adjustment, declicked aperture adjustment, which is great if you're shooting video and you want a smooth iris control like that, if you want to smoothly adjust the aperture. This ring is also good if you're using a more modern Nikon F DSLR lens that doesn't have manual aperture control. You can use the blue ring built into the adapter to adjust the aperture manually if you do not have the aperture ring. So this adapter works like any other adapter, but like I said at the beginning of the video, it also has built-in tilt shift technology. To shift the lens, you're going to press this silver button down on the top, and you can shift the lens 10 millimeters that way or 10 millimeters that way for a total of 20 millimeters of shift. And then if you want to rotate this shift, if you want to shift up and down, you're just going to press this little gold button on the side of the adapter, and this rotates the lens 360 degrees. It rotates the adapter. So we can rotate it like this, and now we can shift down, or we can shift up. And having shift functionality built into your lens is actually very useful, especially if you're shooting architecture photography. If you're pointing the lens up at some buildings, the leading lines of the buildings are going to be going together like this. If you want those leading lines to be straighter for more pleasing architecture photography, you can actually shift your lens up a little bit. And this can actually adjust perspective distortion on your architecture shots so the lines are straighter and more pleasing. So that's how you shift your adapted Nikon F lens. But to tilt it, you're going to loosen this golden knob here, and you can tilt the lens down up to 10 degrees of tilt. You can actually see the markings right there. Shows 10 degrees right there. And you don't just tilt the lens down. You can actually rotate this tilt wherever you want it in your shot, and you do that by pressing this gold button, and you can rotate the tilt sideways. So you can tilt the lens this way, or you can rotate it all the way around. You can tilt the lens this way. So you can pretty much place your tilt wherever you want it. You can tilt diagonally, you can tilt up and down, you can tilt left and right. Anywhere you want that tilt, you can place it with this adapter. And tilting is a very useful tool, especially if you're shooting with a shallow depth of field. Let's say you've got the lens set to like 2.8 or 1.8. And let's say you are shooting a still life or you're shooting some product photography and you want to be able to focus on two planes of focus at the same time. By doing very minute tilting, you can actually take your focal plane, which is normally flat, and you can actually tilt it. And by tilting it, you can focus on different focal planes at the same time. So that's a great tool for art photographers, product photographers. But another thing you can do with tilt, which has become a lot more popular lately, is to do a drastic tilt. Tilt all the way 10 degrees of tilt, and then, maybe rotate it sideways. And then what you're doing is you're taking that focal plane and you're tilting it very drastically. So you're only focusing on a very small sliver of focus in your scene. And this is great if you're shooting art photography and you want to have a very selective focus effect. A lot of people who shoot time lapses use the tilt effect, the selective focus effect, to focus on a very small sliver of their scene to make the large landscape or cityscape they're photographing look almost like a miniature. But you can also use this tilt effect in landscape photography to focus on a very narrow band of your scene. Or let's say in this shot, we're photographing a tree trunk and we want to just focus on the tree trunk. We want the left and right to go out of focus. We're just going to tilt to the left. And by tilting the lens, we're focusing only on the tree trunk and we're throwing everything on the left and right out of focus. Now, not everyone is a super fan of this type of selective focus photography, and that's fine. Do the photography that works best for you. If you're more of a technical photographer, the Tilt ROKR is great for technical focus adjustments. If you're more of an artsy photographer or filmmaker and you want that drastic selective focus effect, you can also do that with this adapter. Okay, that was a quick look at our Nikon F to Nikon Z Tilt ROKR Tilt Shift adapter. If you have any questions or comments about this adapter or something I said in today's video, comment below. I'd love to help you out. Also, click the link in the description below to get your Nikon F to Nikon Z Tilt ROKR Tilt Shift adapter today. And also check out all the other types of Tilt ROKR adapters we offer for various lens mounts and various cameras. Click right here to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more videos just like this one.